It's a lot. It's a lot of good. Welcome back, and thank you for joining me for another reaction video. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe, turn on those notifications, and you're good to go. It is officially Nightwish Saturday, which means we're back with another one from the Symphonic Metal Gods. Before I get stuck into today's reaction, I want to let you know that at the time of this video going live, it's officially 2 p.m. BST, that is 2 p.m. British Summer Time. In exactly 1 hour, 3 p.m., I'm going to be doing my first ever live Q&A. So if you caught this early enough, pop past the channel again then and jump in the chat, ask all the questions you like. Can't wait to hang out with you guys. It's going to be lots of fun. Back to today's reaction. I put a poll out and said, do you want me to look at more older stuff from Nightwish? Do you want me to look at the newer stuff? And the poll as it stands is 59% to 41% in favor of the new stuff, which actually works out really well because apparently the first song of their new album, which is their 9th studio album, and it's their first ever double album, I believe. It's got 2 CDs, so lots of music to get through. The first song is called Music, and it picks up directly after the Greatest Show on Earth, which was my last reaction. So that's really handy. Don't worry, we're not just going to be doing the new stuff. We are going to be doing some of the older stuff as well. I'll throw those in as a surprise, but I'm excited to see kind of more of the modern day Nightwish, if you will. And I am listening to your advice. You said listen to it in order. I trust you guys. So we're starting with the very first one, Music. It is the official lyric video off the Nightwish YouTube channel. Can't wait. Nightwish, Music. Let's see what you got. Very interesting. Intense build up. It's really setting the scene, and you got to think about placements on the album. If this is the opening track, that's usually a very, very good place to do that, to build up, to take your time with it. It is a 7.5-minute song, so we're a minute in. They've given themselves enough room to do that. It started with kind of, the first sound I picked up was those clanging of like those poles, and it sounds like there's a lot of spatial effects, so there's a lot of reverb. It sounds like it's far back in the mix, like it was further away from the mic. It sounds like it was recorded in a big room, which has got that slight echo to it. And then you had kind of the strings or synth pieces kind of gliding in very delicately and slowly. And then I picked up on a low rumble, which became a bit periodic. It starts and stops. And just as I paused, sounds like a bit of horns, triumphant. So there's like a lot of things going on and being introduced. And this is kind of the epitome of a great build-up. It's delicate, but it's impactful, and to say I'm excited is an understatement. Change in atmosphere there, a bit more ominous. Animal sounds and that drum beat really delicately in the back. It's like a heartbeat. Okay, I'm going back a bit. So awesome. I didn't expect that at all. Came in with, you know, it went from that more kind of strings orchestral build up, exploded into the tribal now, kind of tribal drumming. And the reason I stopped where I did is I want you to listen in the change of pattern of that percussive beat that they were playing. It's very full, it's very erratic, but there's definitely a change in the accents of the notes that are hit. You should be able to hear it when I hit play again. It's definitely like Africa inspired. It feels like that. It feels like that kind of just like really nice kind of tribal sound. But then it's also got what sounds like those like flutes, and that's a bit of a Middle Eastern flair on that. So you can I love the way that sometimes you can hear pieces of music and you can kind of think of an origin, or you can have that association with it. So that's very cool. And then there's this like it sounds like almost a vocal hum, a really low rumble on top of that. So ironically, they had such a delicate build up, and then they exploded into this, but very, very cool nonetheless. Have a listen for the change in the percussive kind of accenting. So epic. It's almost like a gong reverb on that. Very cool. Okay, hang on a second. Very spacey now. So it's gone from being very tribal and very like early age into something very spacey and a little bit out there, much lighter as well. And I mean that in terms of the sound. It's higher notes, and they there's one part of it that's really quick, and it's this continuous run, almost the continuous run. It reminds me a bit more of kind of old school composition, orchestral composition, classical piano playing. And then you've got this other piece on top, which is erratic, but it comes in bits and pieces. It stops and starts. It's a lot. It's a lot of good. Choir is so cool. Real quick, do they have like a particular choir that they work with all the time when they do these recordings, or is it just kind of, is it different on each album? Be nice to know that. Okay, hold up. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So finally, the introduction of the vocal. Really nice, very delicate. So far, it's been it's felt like it's been in stages, in phases, and now it feels like the song is born, right? And it's really pretty. It's delicate. It's doing something I love, where, and I don't know if there's a name for it or a phrase for it, but where the vocal melody and actually the tonal value of each word lines up directly with the music, right? And there are certain parts where, on certain words where you can hear more of like a vowel sound, or you can hear more of like a kind of wider, bright sound. It lines up very perfectly with the notes that's being played on the keys, and they almost become one thing, and I love it. It gives me shivers. I think it's so cool. Also, the phrasing is a bit weird. It drops, and then there's a part where you think it's going to last a bit longer, and it pulls back again. And that is very theatrical. When you go and you watch live plays and stuff, that is typical of that. It's this almost push and pull between what you're expecting the bar to do and then what they do, and it just creates a lot of excitement, creates a bit of energy and urgency. It's very pretty. Voices of the northern lights. Then you came and joined you beyond the ends as you blew your
cave there alone and began to hum. Eradicate the torment of a heavy heart, emancipate the deaf, sing the cries of third part.
Beautiful, gone up an octave, and just nice layering there, really high. It's very difficult. I mean, I'm no singer, goodness knows, and nobody wants to hear me even attempt to sing. But one thing I do know is that when you are singing more delicately, there's a lot more room for error. You can hear, it's harder because you aren't pushing more power out. It's harder to control the kind of value of the tone. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful start to a song. There's definitely 2 layers of vocal.
To unlock the stars, to enter music, fanning the flames of the mystery, deepening the listening music.
Is that Marco in the back?
To the endless symphony of now. You want to dream, want to daily make your
I love what they're doing here. This continuous build up and strip back again is clearly a theme, and it makes me very, very happy. Up until this point, it actually hasn't sounded like a band. It sounded like a piece of orchestrated music composed for a live theater play. And now when that kick drum came in, you could hear some of the hi-hats. Now I'm like, okay, the band's coming in. And we're actually, I'd say, yeah, we're more than halfway through the song. And I just love what they're doing with this. They're taking their time. They're being delicate. There is an appreciation from their side for their storytelling. And there is a great appreciation that I'm having for how they aren't trying to rush into a song right in the beginning of the album. It's like this mature patience.
Symphony of now. You want to dream, want to daily make your scale, wish to leave the hollow to dance with them. Can you hear the brave drum from the most? Follow the beat and leave the noise behind if we be lovers. Performance starts, come join the gathering that you will leave with the wildflower after taste.
There's this background sound that's going on where I'm struggling to hear if it's a choir or if it's a sampled piece that is like a strings effect that is meant to sound like almost vocal, if you will. But it is working very, very well because you heard it earlier on, and now they're starting to bring pieces of that into this, and it's all kind of like matching and building this wonderful musical puzzle. It's exciting.
Become the kind who still loves it, but their voice give me a home inside you until the final thank you and a good night. Music, fanning the flames of a mystery, deepening the listening, losing yourself to the endless symphony of now. You are singing the tale of another man. Have you ever heard music?
That little bit there at the end, just before she links back into the word music, when she hits with music, like really powerful. But when she's singing the end of that phrase, she's actually supremely high, and she has to come down again to catch music. And so hearing that live, I mean, we know she's gonna pull that off. Easiest thing in the world for her, but impressive. I don't hear any like majority guitar yet. It's funny, I said I didn't hear any guitar yet, and there it was. Nice how it came in with like kind of a solo piece, another solo piece, and then they matched up together. It's not technically a solo, it's just a piece of lead work, but I guess it probably could be a solo. The song's quite slow and it's taking its time. It's beautiful, it's awesome, but and I hate pausing when the guitar's playing. I know I get ripped to pieces in the comments, but it's important that I let you. I'm gonna go back one more even just to give it enough time so we don't miss out on it. But it was really smart how And there was one guitar line playing, there was another playing on top, just accenting little bits, and then they married up together and they started kind of moving forward. And that's what I talk about when I say music it needs to feel like it's moving in a direction the whole time. Doesn't matter where you go back to a verse or anything like that, as long as I feel like I'm going on a journey with you instead of going back and forward, it's important. There you go. It's just hit me. We have not done every Nightwish song we've done has been live, I think, actually. And as it went into that kind of more synth-based key work, I had this like visual of Thomas just standing there playing this live, and I can't wait to see that. That's going to be awesome. But it's so funny how when you don't have the visual aid, it's got its pros and cons. I mean, I think you can finally tune into more of the musical side of things without distraction, because when you're watching, sometimes you see something and then your ears start searching for it. But he's very busy all the time. He even in the parts where he's stripped back and he's letting something else shine, you can hear the busyness. You can almost hear the thinking, because there's slow bits that start winding in, and he makes sure that every note is purposeful. This is power. Oh no, that was so smart, so pretty. I think she just said silence, right? And then it ends like that. But the way that they took the music out, it wasn't a deliberate sharp cut in terms of a cut off in terms of a digital edit. It felt like it was a stopping of a musician actually stopping. And the difference is there is a resonance. There's a slight resonance of the instruments or even of the vocal that, is very short-lived, but it's definitely there. And I think it just shows a lot of control, and it's smart editing and recording. Good production. That mischievousness again. It's behind the vocals. Excuse me, I have to just hear that last piece again. I know I've gone back a lot, but there's definitely a vocal layer, and it sounds like a male vocal underneath, and there where they ended you could hear it a bit more. But what a beautiful when you have such powerful vocalists who are so well connected and so in tune, I'm not surprised they do things like this, where they'll stop the music and let it shine and let it kind of drift out, because it is a blessing to hear. We heard that right in the beginning, that piece. Beautiful. I don't know what those symbols are, so if you do know, let me know. That was special. That was awesome. Again, felt more in parts, definitely band oriented, but it felt more like a setup piece, which is what its job was. It's there to kind of open the album, explore the kind of sound that they the tweaks to their unique sound, really delicately build up. Awesome chorus, powerful. That is one that, like, you hear it and you go, oh, I got it. Like, I want to see it live, because I think watching them play that live will be like another spectacle. And unfortunately, we may have to wait some time for that, but it is going to be worth it. And I really pleased with how that started. Not at all what I was expecting. Very cool theme for the album: human nature, human and then nature. Double CD, lots of music to explore. So very, very, very excited. I hope you enjoyed that one. It was very different for me. That felt very, very different, but very cool. Fully on board with this, and I am hyped. So yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for suggesting. Thanks for voting and helping me decide kind of which direction we go with this. I want you guys to be as much a part of it as I am. And if you're going to be joining the live Q&A in a little bit, I'll see you there. But until then, please be safe, be nice to each other, and have a damn good day.